What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill, and in today's video we are doing another mod to Matt's Bronco. Matt is actually not here today. It's the middle of the week, but I'm going ahead and getting started because I have an erector set built over here that I need to build before it's ready to go onto his Bronco. But all these pieces go together, and it is going to be wheel well liners for the Bronco. For this video, we're working together with Hooke Road. They have a bunch of accessories for the Bronco. They reached out and said, are you interested in any of these? And I know Matt was very interested in the wheel well liners that DV8 had. And I was looking at what Hooke Road had to offer, and they had these wheel well liner kits. And so I said, yes, I would be interested in doing a video about that. It's going to be put on Matt's Bronco, not my own. Do you have any problems with that? And they said, absolutely not. We'd love to hear what you think. And so that's what this is. They've sent this out. This pile here is the rear fender liners, and this pile over here is the front fender liners. Now, if you go, you take a look at the instructions. They actually sent some color instructions, which is nice. But that's kind of what the front ones look like. And then the rear ones go together like so. So, we're just getting everything unwrapped and get everything laid out and make sure we got all the parts, and then start putting these together. When Matt gets out here, his time is limited. You know, he makes a pretty big trip to come out and visit us every time, so I do appreciate that, and I don't want to waste the time that he is here with us putting these together. So I was going to go ahead, get these built, everything put together, and then when he does get here on Sunday, we could pop these in. The only thing that may slow us down is the fact that we are dealing with some rock lights that are already installed, and so we'll have to figure out how to get those moved over to these wheel well liners without messing too much up. But anyway, enough of me rambling. Let me go ahead and get these ripped apart and then unbagged, and we'll start putting things together. It all seems pretty self-explanatory once you get all the parts laid out. Now, it says if you go by the directions, first thing's supposed to put this decorative plate back behind that, screw that in so that stands out. I'm going to take some creative liberty and I'm going to paint those cyber orange before screwing them on there. Maybe I'll double check with Matt first. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll paint them and surprise them. Maybe I'll check in with them. I don't know. And this is going to go together. So this piece is going to go on the inside here, like so. All right, so we have this piece just kind of in place. Go ahead and set this one into place as well. I'll just throw a screw in here at the top to hold it together. And then we got one more piece here on the end. So there we go. It's all put together. Now I just have a couple of screws in there holding it all together. But we'll come through, put the rest of these screws in, put the nuts on the back, and then get it tightened. But like that, it's pretty simple. It's just the 3 pieces and then the back piece there, and it takes, you can see it takes shape. It's definitely sturdier than plastic. The rear plastic ones never really bothered me too much, except for along this front edge where it would droop down and sag. So hopefully with this we'll see how it looks once we get it in place, but hopefully that cleans up that look. I know Matt's got the fender deletes on there, so you can see the plastic sagging down. We've heated it and pushed it up out of the way, and then, which will be good for a little while, but then it'll start drooping down and sticking down. So hopefully this is going to clean that all up nice and good. We will see. All right, so the rears are put together. I got all the screws in. I haven't tightened everything down. On this one, I have to take this back off. There's it's hard to see, but there's an angle cut here. And this lip should be back behind. I wasn't paying attention, but like if you look on this where that angle cut's tucked behind and that's just a straight line, I think that looks a lot better. Just a small detail, but it makes sense that the angle cut would go back behind. It was angled so it would fit in there. So I'm going to bring this lip out, and then everything will match between the two. Now, you see how easily I get sidetracked, and it's a wonder I get anything ever accomplished. But I think just getting these painted cyber orange to match, especially once it's tucked back behind that black, is going to make that pop really good, and I think Matt will be happy with that. If not, Matt, we can just flip these around. You'll see when you get out here. But yeah, I think he'll like that. All right, so the rears are done. And so I painted those and got them in there. I ended up sending Matt a picture, and he seemed to be happy with it. So just went ahead and put those in there. If we need to change them, we can change them. It's just those 4 screws. Pop them out. So now that those are together and ready to go, I have the fronts laid out. Now, it seems the backs were very easy to figure out. Just looking at them, it's like, oh, well, that's obviously the back piece, and then these other pieces go on there. This front's not quite as intuitive at first, but it looks like there's these 2 pieces that will go together, and this will be the back, and then those 2 pieces will be the back for the other side, and then we have 1, 2, 3 pieces that will go around it. So it actually isn't so bad once you kind of navigate through and figure out what's what. I'm not sure which order they go in yet, but pretty sure that's how it goes. Now this piece is bent a little bit, but I'm sure once we get the screws in there and tighten those down, everything will be perfectly fine. Let's get some screws going here. And I'm just going to get everything snug. I don't want to tighten everything down completely yet until we have everything lined up and into a spot. And so I bent that piece back. It did come a little bit bent, but it wasn't bad, and it bent right back into shape. And now everything seems to line up on that. And then we can see this is kind of the back piece. And we can see what lines up where now. And I don't know what's going on with all the animals today. The chickens have gone crazy. They never come in the garage, but they've been coming in and hanging out. They're running around. We had a raccoon in the house earlier. But anyway, okay, so I think that's the first piece here. Now these holes don't line up perfectly, but again, I think this piece might be bent out of shape a little bit because it is, well, it's flexible. So I think we can get that to work. I gotta sit you down. Hey, what are you doing here? Alright, so it's this piece, and this piece like so, and then that piece. Yeah, I don't know. The chickens are trying to take over. I think we got the top piece together. I just got the 2 screws in there to hold it in place. They're not tight. And put the center ones in there. And if that is all correct, then this should line up. Yeah, put those holes in. Yeah, that's why this piece is bent a bit. That's why it was a bit off. But yeah, if I bend that back into place, that should line up. All that should line up. We'll get these screws. We'll start here on this piece because that looks like where the biggest bend is, and get those into place and kind of work our way out to the edges from there. Yeah, I mean, it comes together pretty easily. The backs were a little bit easier for me to just look at and be like, oh, I get it. I understand how these go together. The fronts took a little bit more figuring out where things went, but which was made a little bit harder by this piece being bent. But once we got it figured out, it's like, oh, okay, now it makes sense, and now it's going together just as easily. So the other side will be even easier now that it kind of have an idea how they go together. But yeah, it's just more of putting these small screws in, putting the nuts on them, and then we'll tighten everything up. All right, so Matt is here, the Sasquatch is here, and we're able to go ahead and see how easy or hard those wheel well liners are. The chickens are still going crazy and invading the garage. And yeah, so the instructions say to remove the fender flares. Obviously he's got the fender flare deletes on there, so we're going to go ahead and remove those and then remove the liners as well. Now he does have rock lights, and I was concerned how we were going to do the wiring. Then I forgot that we actually didn't run any wiring behind. We mounted them on the back, so that's going to be a kind of a big hole to cut in those, but I think we can do that. I mean, it's not super flimsy, especially how I figured it was going to be super flimsy, but it's pretty sturdy. But it shouldn't, if I could talk, but it shouldn't be too hard to cut through. So we'll see. But for now, just taking this out, and hopefully this is the last time we got to deal with these stupid little fasteners. That some of them work,
and that one doesn't.
Oh, this one.
Oh, it does.
This one's behaving nicely-ish. And we'll pick that up. But yeah, there's just a bunch of those, and then along the inside lip here, there's a couple of screws, and then this whole thing will come out. Oh, this one's behaving too. They're trying to convince us not to remove them. It's a false sense of security. Like, no, you can leave us in. We work every time. Well, I won't bore you with taking all of these out, but we'll check back in once we get them all out and we're pulling this out. All right, so all the fasteners are out. This should just plop down like so. Oh, we zip tied that there. All right, so now we got these rock lights here we need to disconnect. If you didn't have rock lights, then obviously this whole thing would just come out at this point. Let me go ahead and get these disconnected, and then we'll pull this out. The lights disconnected, they're just hanging down for now, and we can take this out. It's got a little dirt on the back. It's seen some use. So yeah, if you compare, well, let's go compare. So this will be much easier to clean, that's for sure. And yeah, I think it just looks a million times better. But let's get that fender delete off of there, and then we'll stick that in and see what it looks like. Alright, so we've got some longer screws with washers and some shorter screws with washers. And then we have these mounting brackets. So we need two ovaled ones and one rectangular one. I mean, they're all kind of rectangular, but the rounded corners. And they are going to get mounted on the Bronco first. So this first one one's going to get mounted. It's one of the oval ones. It's supposed to go in this hole, I believe. Now the other one is this front one here. Alright, so that's supposed to go there. And then the square one seems to be this hole here. So then we can put this into place, and there's two holes, one a bigger hole where that screw, this screw, so we can still tighten it, and then one where the screw actually goes in to the fastener itself. So that gets the longer screws. Now I'm guessing this is the part that they were saying would be helpful with two people. Alright, so Matt's making up some templates for the lights. I'm going to mark where they're going to go on here before we do that, before we get it mounted up, because once we get it mounted, I don't think we're going to want to take it back down because it's fighting us a bit. So while he's doing that, I'll just go ahead, start taking the back liner out. One thing we did realize is, though, we didn't have to take that delete off of there. Well, other than the front mount we would have had taken off of there, but we just need to take the liner out, I think, and we'll be okay. If you have the fender flares on there, I could see where they would get in your way, but with the deletes on there, I think we'll be fine. Now, one thing, these rear ones, I think I mentioned, like these plastic, it just like droops down. We've tried heating this up. I did that mine too, and keep getting it tucked up under there, and it just kind of droops down. It doesn't look very pretty, especially if you know to look for it. If you don't know it's there, it's not super noticeable, but when you know it's there and you look for it, you can't unsee it. So hopefully once we get this plastic liner out of there and the new one in, it's going to get rid of that and clean that all up. But this comes out just like the front. Got all these little fasteners that either come out right away or don't come out. So get these, and then we'll pull this one out and test fit that as well. All right, so we got these lined up. Matt measured everything out, got everything positioned good, and then we're going to just use a hole saw. So it's about 1 inch wide, so we're going to do 2 holes from here and here, and then whatever little tab we have left between the 2 holes, trim out. Figure that would be a lot easier than trying to cut circles out. So we'll go ahead and drill that out with our step bit and see how it goes. We hit this with some paint just to cover the bare metal. While that's drying, we've moved on to getting the rears set up. We just got that set in, marking where the lights are going to go there. and go from there. And hopefully we'll have this side all buttoned up here once we get those cut out and see how it all looks. All right, so it take a little bit of finagling to get this in here and all the things lined up, but we started with the back one, got this bolt in. I said there's the hole where the screw for the little bracket goes, and so you don't have to tighten it up all the way. In fact, if you did tighten it up all the way, you would have a hard time, so it gives you some wiggle room. We got this back one in, then this one lined up, and then the front, and then it's the only 3 fasteners holding this in, but I mean that is very sturdy. Yeah, with the fender deletes on there, or fender flare deletes on there, it lines up. Like it has these bumps, and I thought they kind of tucked up, but it just to kind of fill out any gaps that there would have been, since they're using angular pieces in a circular hole. But yeah, it all lines up, and I think it looks pretty good. It's definitely very sturdy. I said, it's just those 3 mounting points, it's a lot sturdier than the felt that was in there before. But yeah, so far so good. I said we got the rock lights, we cut those out same like we did on the other ones, so there. And want to make sure that those still work.
Yep.
Make sure we didn't break anything in the process. Yep, and there we go. Both of them are on. It's kind of daylight with the sun right behind us, so you can't see it so much. But yeah, there we go. All right, so the back we have on the passenger side is going to use 2 of these brackets. Now the instructions are not very clear because it points to this bracket, but then it shows them putting on this bracket to here instead. So we held it up, and it does look like it needs to go to this one. That one's a little bent up, but we'll get it straightened out. And then the other one will go to this back one here. So we were wrong. It's not this tab, it's this tab, because the hole is up here. So got to take that out and move it up a hole. All right, so the one bracket is back behind there where this screw goes. The other bracket is up here where this screw goes. Then screw just goes directly in there. Another one with a nut goes on the back of there, and then a screw with a nut on the back of it goes there, and then it all fits nice and good. I think it looks better. Like I was pointing out before, the plastic, this does, it kind of cuts the corners a little bit, but they knew it did that because, like I said, they're putting angular metal into an arch, but they made sure it was actually covered that and looked good. So that, and then I think the 1966 looks good in the yellow. Yeah, that's one side done. I said I'm glad I went ahead and put these together before Matt got here, because I figured it didn't seem like it would be something that would take forever all day to do, but it's been a while and we just got the one side done. It would go quicker obviously if you weren't doing rock lights, but it definitely does help to have a second person when you're getting these all lined up and wrapped up. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get started on the other side, and we'll make note of any differences, but it's, for the most part, I think it should be the same. And yeah, I think that looks good, especially with as much lift as you got. It just cleans that up a bit more than what it looked like before. So yeah, we'll get started on the other side and then check back in with you if anything exciting happens. All right, so Hooke Road did send the other bracket out here. As you see, it's shaped a little different, and it's got the nut cert on, or the welded on nut one side. Now on the driver's side, it's got to line up like so, and then it puts your nut there. All right, it's a little darker. It's actually the next day. Now we got everything in there. We got the rock lights on. Looks good. A bit better position than they were before. We kind of had them back here and up here due to where the design. Yeah. Due to the design of the OEM fenders, these gave us a bit more freedom to put them wherever Matt wanted, which is there and there. And we did go ahead and get the driver's side wrapped up. Need to wipe this one down. It's got our handprints all over it, but you see everything fits in there. So all in all, I think these look great. They're very sturdy. Now, one thing on this side, the bracket that goes here, they sent me in the packaging, they sent me 2 of the same brackets that were for the passenger side, and this one needs a separate bracket. They're going to ship me one. We went ahead and kind of made our own thing work for it, but yeah, it's in there, it's holding. And then, like I said, they did make an update and have a new bracket that they're going to go ahead and send, so we'll probably change that out once it gets here. But I think that's good.
And you'll be able to check them out at Supercell.
Yes, we will be out at Supercell. We'll have a booth there, so come on by, check us out, check the Broncos out, say hi, and it'd be great to meet you. And also, I almost forgot to mention, if you do want to check out Hooke Road, I'll put a link down to their site in the description. Use code Eville on checkout to get 5% off. And thanks for watching. Hopefully we get to meet hopefully we'll get to meet you at Supercell. If not, we'll see you online. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to check out Matt at tat_squatch or tattoo Matt 71 on Instagram, or here on the channel, or live there at Supercell. So thanks again, Matt, for coming out and visiting us and letting us do this install, and we'll see you guys next time.